hour to go. The day started today certainly exactly how Alex Tagliani wanted to. He had a great qualifying draw. He was in P1. Looked like he was solid. Very happy with his team and the time they put down, but never count out Helio Castroneves. At 2:31, not that long ago, in the heat of the day, Tim Cindric signed a piece of paper along with Roger Penske, withdrew the time. He goes back out. It was a risky move and puts himself P1. Again, that's position 1, not the pole yet. But if it sticks, he'll have the first pick when it comes to the pits. Now, some people did not fare as well. Mario Moraes, the car steps out in turn number 2. He tried everything here. He gassed it, tried to keep it off the wall, and reduced the damage, but certainly knocked him out of competition. Another driver who we've talked so much about the bad luck at Indy, in the race, or in qualifying, Tony Kanaan. It just floated. It floated in turn 1. He got for the gas, tried everything to keep it off the wall. Looked like he might save it, but it's not going to work in the short chute. He's going straight, but there's another corner coming. Pow! Big hit for Tony Kanaan, thinking, you've got to be kidding me. Now, his teammate, Danica Patrick, didn't hit the wall, but you might have thought she did by her comments when she got out of the car. Yes, it was a solid 224, but she got out of the car saying, this is just not working for me. It's been a tough, tough day.
This is the worst car I've ever had. I couldn't even be flat. The GoDaddy car does not deserve to be this far down.
There are 2 segments to qualifying here today. Segment number 1 will continue for less than an hour, during which we will establish 24 qualifiers. And then from 4:30 to 6, it's the shootout involving the top 9 in this segment. Right now, the track is open for practice. No qualifier in line, and there are the top 9, from Helio's 226.6 to Ed Carpenter's 225.1. The others who are in the field at this moment include, in 10th position, Justin Wilson with a good run. Alex Tagliani also had a good run, as did Rafael Matos and Davey Hamilton. Helio is on pit lane, but right now he's happy with where he's at, P1 here in Indianapolis. It's the month of May in Indianapolis, and lots of coverage on Versus in addition to our coverage today, which continues until 6:30. Bump Day tomorrow will fill the 33-car field and bump out the slowest. Our coverage begins at noon. On Friday, it's Carb Day. We'll have the final couple of hours of practice for the IndyCar series, and then we'll have the Firestone Indy Lights race. The pit stop competition follows that. It all begins at 11 o'clock, and then following the race on Sunday, we will have here's a guy that we haven't seen today in terms of qualifying, John Andretti, another member of the Andretti Autosport stable.
And not a better looking car out there than that pretty 43.
Petty blue and red,
This morning, John did about a 223 in cooler conditions. Maybe was getting a draft. So obviously, reason we haven't seen him, they did not make an attempt when it went through the queue the first time by, because he was waiting just for this, probably to get back out, do a little bit more practice, find a little bit more time before he throws something down to try and be in the top 24.
Well, guys, it looks like Will Power is in the cockpit ready to go here in just a moment. I see in Q2 on his tires, so he saw what Helio Castroneves had in there, and he sits P4 right now. So Will Power, you can tell he's focused, ready to go out there in the Verizon Penske machine. I don't think they're waiting. I think they want to be P1 and head into that 9. And then who knows, front she's in the car as well. You're seeing the 41 and just behind her. So it's starting to get busy as we get into these waning moments of segment 1.
Now, Robbie, I need to ask you, though, we see that he's got a new set of tires on and he wants to go out, but he is still in his pit, correct? So we're talking about him going out to do a simulated qualifying run. He's not in a position to be presented, correct?
Correct. He's still back in their pits. It looks like they're trying to pull out A.J. Foyt the fourth. He is in his spot, but they just topped it off in fuel, or the correct amount of fuel. And it looks like they're starting to bring the number 8 around. So, yeah, things are starting to get a little busier in here, and it looks like they're about to fire up Will. So you may be right. He may be just going out there to do a simulated run, but he has Q2 on the tires. So I'm hoping I get to see another qualifying run.
And here's a guy at P5 right now, Scott Dixon. And here's this rivalry again between Team Penske and Target Chip Ganassi Racing. They would like very much to be P1 at the end of this segment, knocking Elio off, and Scott Dixon is trying to work up to speed to do that.
Not really sure we've seen that either from Dario or Dixon to have the kind of speed that we saw from Castroneves. You know, I think they could maybe tighten the gap a little bit more, but to gain for Dixon, it'd be a full mile-an-hour average to get from where he is in P5 right now to P1.
When you're in the middle of that 9, if you're in the 5th spot, I don't know if it's me, Robbie, you just ride it out. Now, use this opportunity maybe to tune for the shootout, though.
Yeah, and I would think that's a little bit what Will Power's doing there. We see them sitting with stickers in there, is to tune for that next final 9.
Good to see Mario Moraes back out.
Yeah, sure is. After that incident earlier today, Mario is back out there.
Well, we said, you know, by him gassing it up, Jan, as you were talking about, to keep it off the wall. Didn't keep it off the wall totally, but just by gassing it, it kept the impact from being worse than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it lists the way it comes across on the transponder. It still shows as 32, not 32T, so that you would assume they've been able to make repairs to that car. That was quick.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, about 50 minutes to go now in this first segment. The track will close at 4 o'clock for a half-hour break before the pole shootout. Stay with us from Indianapolis.
Indy 500, the greatest spectacle in racing and the largest single-day sporting event in the world. Open-wheel racing excitement of the Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 33 cars featuring the defending champ Helio Castroneves and Canadians Alex Tagliani from Montreal and the thrill from West Hill, Paul Tracy. The 94th running of the Indianapolis 500, Sunday, May 30th at noon on TSN.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. You can become a member of IndyCar Nation. Log on to IndyCar.com for free live timing and scoring, race control, exclusive membership, benefits, and much more. That's at IndyCar.com to become a member of IndyCar Nation. Good to see some blue sky over Indianapolis after this past week where we had a lot of rain and a lot of cloudy skies. But the weather has certainly changed for today. We're at 87 degrees with a relative humidity not too bad at 42%. The winds at 11 miles an hour. The track temperature at 114 at this hour. And according to the weather forecast, we could have even warmer weather tomorrow on Bump Day. Track open for practice. Several cars are on the racetrack right now as we get down to a little more than 45 minutes to go before the end of segment number 1.
And you talk about track temperature, that's 25 degrees warmer than we've seen all week. Yep. And that just plays a big function in terms of how it changes how these cars handle.
And Robbie, you had said after the Danica interview that you thought that they should put some race downforce on, get her back out there and get her comfortable again. And one would assume they're taking your advice.
Well, I'm looking at a rear wing. Doesn't the front of that wing, I mean, sometimes it's such an illusion from where we are here. Maybe one time when it goes down pit road, Jack can look. But to me, it looks like they're still in the mode of searching out speed.
Guys, let me tell you a little bit when we're looking at searching for more speed, and this is what drivers have to do when they qualify. And this is one of Paul Tracy's Speedway wings for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It basically uses the same, what we call main plane that they use everywhere, but there aren't the additional winglets that you see on road courses or on some of the other tracks. But unlike any other place we go to, in order to get rid of the drag, you have to reduce a lot of downforce. the best way to do that is to take wing angle out. Now I want to go to our IZOD Performance Pit touchscreen and show you what I'm talking about. This is at 0 degrees of drag. Now